build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die.
Hello everybody, welcome to Shortbangers. Matty.
I'm Colin. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, eh? This is our last recording before Christmas happens on Sunday. So we're doing this sort of crammed into my lunch break on Friday afternoon. So we'll get cracking into the questions. Anyway, you're off now, Colin. Anyway, how's your time off going?
Man of leisure, mate. I could get used to this. I said that to my wife the other day. She says, I think she needs to get herself a few promotions so that I can go maybe part-time.
Aye.
Just kicking about with the dog, walking the dog and that magic. Just definitely the life. So much more relaxed. But see, when you're walking about, I kind of lot of folk are on holidays, so it's a bit quieter. But I've been going to take the dog out at 8:30, 9, 10 in the morning. And everything just feels much more relaxed at that time. Because even when you take the dog out normally before a working day at 6, 7 o'clock, folk just seem in merry a hurry.
Aye.
Then at that time of the day. So I think I need to, either that or I start to need a night shift or something.
What I find interesting about morning dog walks, right? I didn't know why I was surprised at this, right? But I was. When I started getting the bus in to my work, right, so I worked in Cannon Mill, and get the bus to Princes Street, walk down Hanover Street and then doing a bit of Kill. Yep. The amount of folk that are out walking dogs there, and I just never ever thought that was a particularly dog friendly area. Like folk that lived there, I just assumed they wouldn't have dogs.
We were talking about that recently. Aye, because my wife said she was working in town till she changed jobs, and she was like, "Who the fuck takes a dog into town?"
Aye,
so I said, well, maybe they stay there, but then you think, well, not many folks stay in Princes Street, right? And they've got dogs walking about, and you think, why are you taking a dog up the town? It used to be bad enough for a fucking buggy.
Aye.
Back in the old days, you think, I'm not going to fucking town with the bear. Even when it was Christmas light switch on and that, you're like, nah, fuck that, too much hassle. Never mind a fucking dog.
I know. It just, it surprised me. Then I thought probably shouldn't surprise me. Folk that live in towns like dogs as well, eh? So, anyway, right, we'll get some questions in. We've got a lot through, and I'm going to just say, Ian, thanks very much for all your questions. We'll probably get through them all the day. We'll keep some maybe for next week, and we'll maybe try to split them between episodes because I think we've almost got a full episode of Ian questions.
Ian episode
this time, and keep sending them, Ian. We really appreciate it. But there's quite a lot to get through. Right, first one anyway, Craig Stewart, and this is one that I missed from last week. Why did Bungle and Rainbow walk about naked all day and then put pyjamas on at night?
I know. It's a good question. That it's not. I don't think it's one I can answer.
Is it because he was a pervert?
Well, it was the era for it. But he was ITV, from memory rather than BBC.
Maybe he had ambitions to get to BBC, and it was his subtle way of doing it.
Maybe it wasn't that subtle. Maybe that was the problem. It wasn't subtle enough.
Aye.
Although I don't think they were, before getting into it. I don't think they were that subtle. I think they just got away with it.
Do you think, because you sometimes see the clips of them on Rainbow and that on YouTube where it's like, oh, rude. Mm-hmm. I don't think they were ever broadcast. I think they've been filmed for fun. And then the footage has been released later.
Yeah,
because I definitely. If I was making those,
like a Tuesday.
Aye, it's like the Seaman Staines in that for Captain Pugwash. That's the one that wasn't a character called that. It's just sort of like a.
What was there? No,
nah.
See, I never watched that.
Apparently not. Neither did I. But you hear it. What was it? Seaman Staines and I can't remember
Masturbate or something.
Aye, something like that, right? It's no true. There wasn't characters called that, apparently. If I was making children's TV, I would definitely have to record something like that and get it out of my system before I do it. I have to do it with presentations. Like if I'm writing a presentation at work, I have to do like a Tourette's version first, where I'll just write. Oh, I have to. It's like
you ever accidentally left in?
Nah. Very, very careful for that. But I have to kind of just get it out of my system because you can't. My head's like, full of nonsense at the best of the time, but. Full of swearing nonsense is worse, and if I didn't get it out, I can't concentrate.
So do you struggle to switch off the nonsense head to your professional head, if you want to call it
that?
Not
really,
off, because I've got clear. I think I've got clear. I think stuff. I can.
I've got a good filter. So for in work environments, where a filter kicks in, and I didn't say probably.
I usually just message you.
Aye. That's it. That's not.
Aye,
that's it. That's the out, isn't it? You've got somebody like a trusted source where you can get it out the system. It has to come out somewhere. It can't just stay.
Yeah.
So that's my wee trick with presentations. I'll do that and just go get the nonsense out. If you think, even when we did the live show, we had the wee whiteboards up. The first thing I did was draw cocks on them. It was just because otherwise we would have wanted to have done that all day. But did it right away, gets it out the system, and then have to think about it again.
It's like a tick.
Aye, something like that. Anyway, Bungle in the pajamas, I think it's just a beauty. It's like, do you know the Disney thing where there's like some dogs wear trousers and some dogs didn't. There's no like rhyme or reason to it. It's almost
Bungle
like
was
they're
male,
no real things. I think
was
so.
Bungle male? Aye. It is a bit of a sort of contradiction. Why did they not have clothes on during the day if you're going to do that? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
No.
This isn't like get skiddies on the sheets.
Maybe there's more risk of wandering hands when he goes to bed. Because I think they all shared a bed, didn't they, in Rainbow?
Aye. I used to like Rainbow, but it's a long time ago. Like Rainbow was one of my favourite ones at the time.
Aye, I used to like it.
We spoke about Button Moon the other week. That's probably where this came from. Somebody's listening to that. I mean, Button Moon, Rainbow was on the day after though.
I didn't like Roger and Freddie.
Monday, I think. Nah.
They were the worst part about it. Better when you had Zippy and George was a bit of pain in the arse. Zippy and George
was the one you wanted. Aye. Like, yeah.
When they were in it, that was the best bits. Right.
Roger and Freddie still alive?
I think
must be getting on a bit. I mean, it's like, what's this? We're talking like nearly 40 years ago.
Aye.
That would have been on.
I wonder if they're all still a threesome.
Aye. I'll maybe send a question into Shortbangers and see if they can find it.
Ask Shortbangers, we'll find out. And Roger and Freddie, if you're listening, text us or tweet us and we'll give the answer. Right, Guinness 2022, next question. Could Shortbangers release a festive advent calendar next year? If so, what gets December 24th?
A festive
Could we do an advent calendar? Could do it.
I've seen other ones kicking about with, like, I think Strong Opinion Boys have been doing one with one for the men's team, one for the women's team every day.
Aye, just saying on Twitter. I think he's been like producing one. Oh,
producing one? Fuck, it costs money and this time, as well.
If we plan it earlier, if we might get a discount if you do, if we order them just after Christmas when they've got surplus blank ones.
Never even looked at our merch store, which we never ever tell any fucker about, do we?
No, we didn't. Redbubble.
I wonder if there was one in there we could have, like, taken a template and just. I wonder, I bet they had stuff like that.
I bet we could have. It's not very Longbangers type thing to do, though, is it? Put a bit of effort in it.
We were the 23rd of December.
We could have. Well, maybe we should have a look at that.
Christmas Eve. Fucking thinking about getting an advent calendar. Well, we did that, or 12 months ahead of the game.
Aye. The 24th is always the double doors as well, isn't it? When your advent calendar.
Aye, or it's a bigger. It's chocolates now. See, when you were wee though, like advent calendar used to just be pictures, eh?
Yeah.
Now it's like chocolates, or now you get fucking beer ones and that.
Aye.
Like, I never tell you this one. One of my mates, one of our mates, I'll tell you the name later. Fucking went round, it's just in October, right? And he was like, "You never guess what fucking happened. You will work it out. You never guess what happened. Ordered one of these beer calendars. I can't remember, Beer 52 or whatever ones, the company that do them. I can't remember. One of the craft shite anyway.
Yeah.
And he's like, they fucking delivered it, and they delivered it to the wrong address or something, but they said they delivered it. So I was on to them saying it's never arrived. So they sent another one. So I've ended up with two, right? And I was like, he's got to give me one of them, eh? Nah, just fucking get both of them.
They just tell you. I've got two.
Why are you telling me that? No, give me it. Fucking miserable. You paid for one, you got one. Fucking give the other one away.
Share the love there. Day 24 would have to be if it was a picture one, it'd have to be a picture of a cock, wouldn't it? And if it was like a graffiti knob, that would sort of be our thing, wouldn't it? And would you do a chocolate knob?
You could get a mould. Like, it would have to be. Well, it would have to be one of the. It would have to be not actual size because it wouldn't fit in even behind the double doors.
Mine's would.
Speak for yourself.
Right, next question. Charlie McGrew thinks he made that up. Why do most politicians sound like they need to give their nose a good blow? Is it a requirement to shut off your nose while you speak in Westminster, or is it just due to the copious amounts of cocaine they're snorting?
Well, but they do say that, eh? Like, you see, you get the wee videos of them hopping about. And there was also the one recently where, well, they're not saying it was Truss, but they were saying at her house or her whatever office, like out of the day that she got elected, they fucking found loads of it in the toilets and that, eh?
Aye, they say they found it in Westminster as well, though, isn't it? Like in Parliament, they're meant to have.
Aye. None happens, eh? I mean, why are you not making it legal then?
Aye.
Then you could tax it.
Yep. I think kind of other reason they would have for needing to give their nose a blow, but I don't know. Listen to them half the
It's
time.
maybe
They
a
make
thing
for
they're adding
fucking
in.
talk shite.
It's like, I know. It's like when they did the thing now when they're talking. One of them once got good fucking polling points because they went, "Oh, thanks for the question, Matthew." And they went, "Oh, I used the fucking name. Look how fucking genius this guy is."
Aye.
And the other, I think it was Tony Blair that started it when they're talking. They don't point. They
Aye,
do this sort
it's
of
like that with
fist.
a hand, yeah.
Fuck
It's almost
off.
like a knuckle pointing, isn't it? Like that.
Aye. It's not too threatening because a fist would be too threatening.
Aye.
A finger would be pointing and singling somebody out. So it's like who the fuck? There's folk paid to go and work all this out. Oh,
Aye.
you come across better if you call somebody by their name and if you didn't point at them.
But if you could avoid answering any fucking questions whatsoever.
And also, didn't blow your nose before you go out there.
Aye. Sounds better if you sound like you've been on the Charlie. Right, AKA Rab says, if you were left in a room with Lee Johnson and had to give him what for, would you use a slipper or a rolled up magazine? If neither, what would be your household weapon of choice?
Do you think so? That's physical violence. I think a bit sort of verbal has got as good an impact. Do you not think? Like sort of rather than like what's with the kids? Like when you were allowed to hit your kids and stuff, right? Or be hit as a kid. Would you have rather? Not rather. Did you feel worse as a kid having been told off or hit?
Hit.
You felt worse for that?
Well, it didn't happen very often. For getting hit, so it was
not enough. Not fucking enough. The way you've turned it.
It was more the threat of it, wasn't it? The prospect of getting hit would be where the fear would come in.
Did you used to get the? I don't know. Take that up the fucking stairs or tidy your room or whatever, and count to 3. 1. Did you get the count to 3 before you got the violence? No.
Not that I remember. Like I said, I didn't get hit very often.
From memory, you never got told to tidy your room, though.
Well, I get told to do it. Whether or not I actually went and did it was a different story.
Where's all the fucking cups and plates?
Guess what? My number one source of fucking irritation in the house now is as well. By the way, where's all the fucking cups and plates? Aye, exactly that.
The teaspoons in mine. We've had that question before. Like, I had to just buy more teaspoons recently because I'm like, where's the fucking teaspoons went again?
Forks is where we're at now. So we've got the teaspoons are all right. Forks. I went to if I was Jade did the dishes the other day. She's like, "No fork here." So you have to send the girls around to go and find all the other forks because you can't. They'll be in my room, so it'll be when they go get the midnight feasts or whatever. Sneak a wee fork up the stairs. What we found is that sometimes the girls would get can you get chippies and they'll come in a box. They get a fork for the chippy, and then at the end they just chuck it in, leave it lying, and then somebody's come in the back and picked up the box and chucked the box out.
Aye. Oh man!
So no noticing that the fork's
been missing. They leave in an empty box. Can we the fucking smell it? Or the room?
The room. The room. Didn't go in the room there. So
yeah. Do not enter.
Do not enter. Sophie's actually got a sign on her wall saying that, like, here's the room's rules. And one of them I think is mess doesn't affect you. So, like,
do you ever say to them though? Like I get a wee bit of that grief at times, but I'm like, it's my house. Like you just stay in the room.
Aye.
It's my room that I'll allow you to stay in. So
get that.
Tidy the cunt up. And I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4.
When did you realise that most of the stuff that you were threatening was fucking pointless? Like you kind of if you go. No, kids are bigger now. You didn't really need to do that. You could just have a conversation with them. But when they were wee, you go, I'll take your phone off you. But you go too big too soon. And if that doesn't work, you're like, fuck, I've nowhere to go now.
Big time, aye.
You really have to learn to start low.
Phone's the one. Phone's a clincher when you're really pissed off. Because that totally throws them in. They just don't know what they've got to fucking do.
Aye.
But that gets done. Like I've done that recently.
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye, it does. It's effective, but if you go to that straight off,
you got
it escalates too quickly, doesn't it? And then you're like, fucking hell. Aye.
Yeah.
You have a better starting point.
It's like, you can't take that off me fucking kin, because I'm still paying for it. So it's fucking mine. Just like the room is. Just all of that shit. Still all mine until you're paying for it. That's it.
Right, anyway, what you did, Lee Johnson? You taking his phone off him? That's what I did.
I'm going the verbal route, right, and then ending up with the phone.
Aye, that's I take his phone off him. And his iPad.
That's tougher than you've got to take the iPad too, because they've got the same fucking stuff on it. It's got to be both if you're doing it and iPad, please. No, I know that as well. Aye, because you can do everything on that. You can do it on your phone.
We used to be able to do because they were all linked to the family on the iPhone. You could do screen time, and you could just shut the phone down pretty much and just fucking can't use it. And then they pretty much try to crack your password. That's what happened. And then they tell you that they've cracked it, so you're like, fucking phone's off, right? And then it's all quiet, and you're like, right, that's fine, everyone's sorted out now. And you go to like undo the screen time and go, was it fucking off already? Did I not put it on right? And then a year later, you could
gaslighting you.
That they've figured out the password. So
how can they figure it out though? Like, you're not making it hard enough then.
No, I obviously didn't. Obviously, I must have made it the same as something else, like Netflix or something like that. Like at some point when I've set it, and they've just gone, fucking use it for Netflix, just do it for that.
Fucking all these devices store passwords now, because I can go into this, like my mobile, it's just beeped, I'll turn it off. And it's fine, like me and my wife share the same iTunes account.
Aye.
Right? That'll need to change because fucking Hibs.net have binned all the email addresses. That's how long I've had that, even though I've not been a private member since fucking 12 years. But I go into like Next or something, for example, and she's got the catalogue with them, and it comes up. I just click in the box, and it comes up saying, "You want to use that password?" Aye, go in, and you're in. So because we share all the same things, it's been fine so far. But I suppose it could be dangerous for a certain type of person.
Aye.
Lucky I'm not one of them. So.
No, for me. Yeah, exactly. Just aye. How Raj do you think Lee Johnson's gone then when you've taken off his phone and his iPad from him? What do you think his reaction would be?
He'd be telling me to go and look at the next door neighbour's parents who didn't do that and see what they have their fucking breakfast.
Jump up and down on the spot with a wee tantrum, that's what I reckon. Right, covering this bit. Hello, John. It says Brooklyn Beckham has been described as a footballer, come model, come photographer, come chef. What delicacies is he whipping up with his gentleman's relish? Because there's a lot coming there for.
So couldn't read the start of that again. I missed it. I was switched off for a second.
Brooklyn Beckham.
Really
you familiar with
I've heard him.
Right. Brooklyn Beckham has been described as a footballer, come model, come photographer, come chef.
Right, okay.
What delicacies is he whipping up with his gentleman's relish?
Did he get married recently? I think he did. To somebody famous, or somebody not maybe famous, but rich.
Somebody super wealthy. Aye, because that was. Do you know, it's a cynical thing to do, right? You look at it and you think, oh, like a gold digger, and then you're like, she's fucking. He's a gold digger. Like she's well more wealthy. Because you sort of think, what must it be like marrying into somebody with that sort of wealth? Because the Beckhams are obviously fucking loaded. And it wasn't so much the fact that it was her marrying him that made me think that. It's just the fact that it was the head of the Beckhams. And you ken how fucking rich they are. Obviously, had to hear her family.
Money, That's why he's been one of these failures at everything he's tried, because he can. Like he's never had to go, come on, mate, you're absolutely useless at all that kind of good stuff that you fancy. Then you have to go and get a real job now, eh?
Aye, you go, fucking hell, right. Gets in his wee Lamborghini and
get yourself in the contact centre, pal.
Aye,
that's you. But he doesn't have to. But
I
wonder how the
prenup
works.
Himself.
How do you think the prenuptials work there? Do you think they both have to sign one to see you can't get anywhere near my parents' money? Because it's neither of them that's rich, it's their parents.
Aye.
Or do you think the richer one overrides the poorer one? I wonder how it works, eh?
Aye, probably, because the richer ones didn't really need it.
What do you think of prenuptials? What would you think of that? Ken, if you were ever fortunate enough to marry into money, or have the money to marry someone else who's not rich, what would you? Where's your sort of moral point on that?
It's a good question. I can see the value in them, but
Can you show a lack of trust, though, eh?
That's the thing. It's like if you didn't. It's like having a pragmatic view in a romantic situation, isn't it? That's really how you.
When we split up.
Aye.
When?
It's like insurance, though, isn't it? It's like just in case that happens.
That's what it is. Aye, exactly.
Here's what will happen.
Take a life policy to cover the mortgage. It's like,
Aye.
no one to die, but I might.
But
like,
you
well,
might.
Yeah, everybody will, but I might in that period.
Aye.
But you know what I mean. Aye.
So I think that's I think they're pretty cold, though, aren't they? Like if you. And the worst is you'd probably ken the terms, so you'd be thinking about that at times. When things were shit, you'd be going,
well, just what?
Aye, it's all signed that. So I was sorry what's going to happen.
Because I watched that. We started watching that White Lotus on Sky, Sky Atlantic, and that's series 1, like so. The
is that about James Bond's car that went underwater?
No.
That was a White Lotus.
No, was it?
Yeah.
No, it's about a hotel.
All right.
But there's a woman married into a really rich family who's always had to work, and her parents are rich, and the husband's like, "Fucking stop doing that, man! I'm fucking loaded. You're loaded, you're in the and she's like, "Hi, but if we split up, then like my career's doing the pan, But but there wasn't a prenup. But I'm thinking, I wonder what the prenup was, or maybe it was. Can't remember. But so it got me thinking. It just then came up again the other night with the Beckham.
You'd be, you know what, walk away with nothing, though, eh? Like when you look at the prenup, you say, I can like how.
Do you negotiate it, Jack?
Aye, you think you would, because you'd be going, I want to just be back where I started.
I've had all this trappings of wealth, and
for that, aye.
And you kicked me out for the younger model, and
you can't realistically. You were the one that cheated, Kim. It's not my fault, right? And so that's how it's come up. Maybe you have that written in as well. Like, use the rules. If you've cheated, you walk away with fuck all, right?
But then you would just get any more deceit and lies and fucking shite spreading because of that, and they'd have more money to like trick you into something as well.
I wonder. They need the money for that.
No, I know. You just have to hand over the lawyers,
Aye.
And just say, negotiate the best you can for me. And hope that they hadn't paid that lawyer off too.
Aye, which would be the trick, because you'd if they were super wealthy to be able to do it, aye,
it can be done,
Okay, that's it. Right, Fats Brickus.
Absolute minefield. Don't you come to us, Ian, if you're looking for any tips on prenuptials. I see Ian just because I know you think we're Google Alexa. But didn't ask us about prenups. I've not got one. No, I don't intend to have one. Because to be honest, I would never get married again. Like, I'm too old now. Never again. Not because I don't value it or anything. If she's listening, just purely because I'm fucking 40 odd year old now. Like, fuck that.
40 something. You just did a break there. 40 something.
I couldn't remember. I was thinking that's just the age thing. 44. I'm nearly 45.
I did that.
That difference between 44 and 45.
Aye, it does. It does. We were watching The Office, the US one last night, and he mentioned his age. I'm sure he said he was 44. And I had to work out, where am I? I'm 45, right? But it took me a wee minute to go, fuck, I'm the same age as him. And then it was worse because I was like, fuck, I'm older than him.
Aye.
His character. I think I'm older than him at that point.
You were younger at that point.
Aye.
About 10 years ago, wasn't it?
Right enough. So, that was depressing. But I had to count. Right, Fats Brickus asks, would you rather have the key or the secret?
That's a good question for Alex for a wee change, because there's different things to weigh up here, Because it's almost like there was a TV show that you used to get wasn't a secret you got, but you got a key and you got to choose if you opened the box or if you gambled it to get. I can't remember exact sort of format yet. You're gambling what's in the box, aren't you? It's no deal or no deal.
That's what I was going to say. That what you're thinking about? I can't remember what you're thinking of.
No,
that deal or no deal was a lot of shite as well. When they go fucking channel the energy and all this fucking
shite.
Like the folk with a strategy. I've got a strategy for it. It's
fucking a random game.
Fuck me, and they built it all up.
But folk with the lottery as well. Kind of like the name tells you what it is.
Yeah.
Like there's the well number 2. Kevin, that used to be on the BBC. The draw used to be on a Saturday night before Sports Scene or Match of the Day. Sorry. number 2, and that's been out 5 times in the last 8 draws. You're like, so fucking what?
Aye.
It's because it's fucking random, eh? It's technically it's a fucking lottery. You know what I mean?
I mean, having the
Fucking hell.
conversation with my dad and my Uncle Ian one time. That's the time that we'll finish. We'll answer. Get back to the key and the secret in a wee second. I'll tell you this about if you drew the lottery an infinite number of times, right? So if you just drew it, would your numbers eventually come out, right? And Bob actually said definitely would, and I said no, they probably would, because there's a difference because it's it's a unique event every time you do it. It's not like the one before it.
The same numbers could come out twice in a row.
They could. They could, in theory. In fact, they could come out. The same numbers could come out every week, just indefinitely.
Yeah.
The chances of that happening are fucking minuscule. But it's the difference between probability and certainty. And he was like, "No, if it was an infinite number of times, at some point that would come up." And I was like, "It probably would," but I think you couldn't say for
because I agree.
Yeah.
I remember another one of your mates, different one, Scott. His dad. Now I can't remember the numbers, but when the lottery started way back, mid-90s or something. His numbers were something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 2, 4, 6, 8. You know, like something like that.
The sequence.
And but all like really low down. And it was like the numbers never got to come out. No. They fucking could. And I'm sure he said, and I could be wrong, like, I'm sure he said, though, I don't want to share the fucking pot with anybody. Like, because he's thinking, yeah, the other dafter will have these numbers. Like, so I'm not got halfers or thirders or anybody. It's like, if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 come out, nobody else will be daft enough to put them down. But it's random. So
the thing is, there probably would be folk who play those numbers for that exact. There's probably more folk that play those numbers than play any other combination of numbers, like if you were to match them up. Because you think about how often, it's not very often the jackpot's split between a couple of folk. It's usually a unique ticket that's won it. So folk must be doing things like that. And it's almost like that idea that you should have a spread across the numbers is almost irrelevant because you're just like, it's a ball that's coming out. It doesn't matter what's on the ball doesn't ken I'm between 40 and 50. For example, Ken, and the machine spinning it around to pick out.
That was a fucking swizzing when they added in the extra 10 numbers.
Fucking widos.
Because I've had the same numbers. I know them off by heart. Like, I had them since the start. My mum still puts them on. And I've got a standing order goes there every month to cover the numbers. But you think, they've added that extra. That makes it harder again.
As if it wasn't hard enough.
It's already something like 14.5 million to win or something. That's the odds. So it must be, I don't know what it is now. It must be, I don't know, 20 million. Just made that up. But it doesn't really fucking matter. But that's by adding the numbers on. I thought, I'm not changing my numbers because guaranteed the numbers will fucking come out. And I know my numbers because I've had them since day one.
Well, good luck with it. I play the same numbers as well. And I've played them for years and I've yet to win it. Disappointingly. I thought I might win it now because it would come in handy at Christmas time. And yesterday I said to Jane, I was like, well, we win the lottery tonight. We'll just do that. And she said aye, and I said aye, which normally if we agree on something, it will happen.
Yep.
Fucking didn't know.
Didn't happen. That's strange.
I think I speak about that. Might like to my MP.
Should have picked the key. Maybe that would have give you that answer.
Imagine though you got the key and the secret was what it opened.
Inside it.
I like what the
or the secret tells you which door to have the keys for.
That's it. Or what box or whatever. So you just left a fucking useless key then. And what, you're going to try every door and box in the world? I think not. I'd rather have the secret, I think. Because you can kick a door in.
Yeah, I'll take the secret as well. I think that's the best way.
Aye.
I mean, maybe a shitty secret though. Might just be a crap one. You're like, fucking hell, why is that even a secret? Like,
aye.
No. That's
Don't keep it to yourself though, eh?
I would always do, but then I suppose it's the same with you pick the key and it opens the door and there's fuck all behind it.
Aye.
Fuck, I wish I'd taken the secret now.
It's a fucking minefield, Colin. I don't care what to think.
So much to consider.
I know.
It's like, but deal no deal though. How the fuck did they string that out for like 45 minutes?
What?
I would have loved some kind of just said, no, I picked number 20. Can I just go and open it? I'm not going to bother going through all these other fucking things. This palaver.
We'll just cut to the chase. You make the phone call, tell me what you're offering, and I'll tell you yes or no based on this.
And
I've no idea what's in it.
they did just cut to the chase. Didn't know
Aye.
that means a job, and it was Bradley Walsh that got
Aye.
the gig.
That's literally how it happened. Somebody said that, cut to the chase, and they went, okay, right, we will.
Yep.
Right, out of time. Thanks very much for sending questions in. Ian, sorry we never got to any of yours in this episode, but they will be in Shortbangers Extra, which is for subscribers, and I know you subscribe, so you can look forward to listening to it there. I hope everybody has a fantastic Christmas. We'll be back with Longbangers after probably the Celtic game. I think we'll record Colin will be after Christmas
We'll
Eve
have
game.
to, well, Christmas Eve probably no, but we play Celtic midweek.
Aye, well, we'll decide. Right, we might have Longbangers out before Celtic game. We might know.
Aye. We've not planned that far ahead.
Nah.
Nah,
but
it's like we're talking about next year's advent calendar first, then we'll decide.
Got to sort that out first. But on a serious point, thanks very much for supporting us through the course of the year. I hope you have a great time with your family and your friends and all your loved ones. And the folk you don't love, if they're nice folk that you're hanging about with, have a good time with them, and we'll see you later.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't